Welcome to Tendoc Talks about the Power Rangers role-playing game. And today I'm excited to talk about the Silver Ranger. If we look at the Silver Ranger section, we're going to see an example of some of the more famous Silver Rangers across time. Now, I don't know what all of these are. I think I see Turbo in here. I see Megaforce. I can always tell Megaforce because it looks like a pirate. And some of the others listed here. But we want to get into the features of the Silver Ranger, what it can do for your game, and the kinds of characters that you can play as a Silver Ranger. Now, the attitude of a Silver Ranger can be whatever you want it to be, but there is a little bit of predisposition. It assumes that you're going to play in a certain way. So the problem with Silver Rangers is it's not clear if they're a team player or not. It says, like their green and white colleagues, Silver Rangers are excellent additions to Power Rangers teams, but they tend to work alone. Because of this, you're going to see a lot of abilities that make up for weaknesses that they have, or holes in their own defenses or offenses to make them better singularly. They don't have bonuses to damage like a Green Ranger has or anything like that, but they do have other comparable abilities. It says that there's always a Silver Ranger. But what they mean by that is, while there may not be a Silver Ranger on every team across time and space, at least one candidate exists in each corner of the universe and every dimension. One thing I did not touch on the Gold Ranger video is the fact that the Morphin Grid can only support one or two Gold Rangers at a time. And what you're going to find out is with the Silver and Phantom Rangers, there are very similar cases here too. So these are meant to be really powerful subclasses. And lore-wise, they're rare. Now, you don't have to do that in your game. You can do whatever you want. But if you want to take into account some of the mythology instead of make your own, then this could be a very interesting piece that you could bring to the table. Speaking of tables, let's look at his abilities. You'll notice that he has a personal power capacity up to 14, which is better than the Gold Ranger's 10. What that means is they're going to have more points left to power some of their abilities, some of which are going to be useful no matter what. They get a special pool of points to spend called grid surges. And if you know anything like about the Black Ranger and how it had a quips pool that he could pull from, it's something very similar to this, but obviously they power very certain special abilities. His specialty is speed primarily, followed by smarts. His social is his least powerful stat in that it levels up the slowest. All right, so let's look at some of the spectrum role features of a Silver Ranger so you can expect what kind of equipment you're going to be able to get. Now, they are proficient in both light and medium armor. Their skill ranks, what they come with, because they have a +2 speed bonus, they have to put 1 in finesse and 1 in targeting. And for their smarts bonus, they get 1 in technology. So again, if you want to customize your character, you're going to have to do that with other points that you get for character creation. And for grid equipment, they're going to start with the communicator and morpher, just like everyone. But here's where it starts to differ. They can take any melee power weapon, they can take a ranged power weapon, or if they want a silverizer, they have to give up their melee power weapon and their ranged power weapon. Now, what exactly is a silverizer? Well, long story short, it is a laser of sorts. You use it to attack at range, and it can do, I believe, either energy or sharp damage. I'll have to double check that again, but there are some benefits to having the Silverizer. So you'd be giving, so either you get versatility with the 2 different types of weapon, or if you know you're going to focus on targeting, and since he's speed based, that's a safe bet, you could just take the Silverizer. There's also like a Super Silverizer that you could take instead. But I think in order to do that, you have to do like a weapon exchange after your Power Ranger is already established. The Silver Ranger gets access to his Zord immediately, much like the Gold Ranger and much like the Phantom Ranger do. Um, and they also get all of the other It's Morphin Time abilities. Now, at first level, the Silver Ranger has an ability called Power Heal. It allows him to spend a personal power to heal himself for 1 point of damage. Actually, he can spend it in multiples of 1 to heal. Again, at level 1, you're only going to have 2 of those power points, but at max level, you're going to have 14. So that's quite a bit that you can actually heal yourself. Also, it gets more effective as you level up too, because it goes to you can recover 2 health per point at 7th level and 4 health per point at 13th level. This makes the Silver Ranger very survivable, especially in the very beginning. At level 2, they get Danger Sense, which gives them 2 upshifts in alertness skill tests, and they have edge on skill tests to avoid traps and ambushes. They get to reroll 1s and 2s on initiative skill dice. So it's very hard to catch a Silver Ranger off guard. They are very good at surviving singularly. Now, so far, we haven't had very many team abilities. So let's see what he gets. At second level, he also gets access to Grid Surge. It allows him to channel the grid energy in a way that some of the other Rangers don't. This is just unique to the Silver Ranger's connection to the grid. He can spend one of his Grid Surge power points, like we were talking about before, to create a temporary construct, like a tool or an item that you need for the moment. It lasts for an hour. You choose what skill you're going to use that tool with, and you get edge on skill tests with that tool. You can change the shape and type of your power weapon until you leave your morphed state. And then they give examples. You can go like you can change it to a versatile staff or to a trident. I don't know if you can like turn your Silverizer into a Super Silverizer, but since it costs points, I'd say you probably could. I'm gonna have to look and see like how quickly you recover these points because I know you get 2 points back per day when it's power points, but for grid points, it doesn't appear to be super obvious how quickly you get those back. You can increase your morphed form's armor bonus to toughness defense by 1 for 1d6 times 10 minutes. You can choose this multiple times up to a +3 cumulative bonus, so you can increase your toughness defense, making you slightly better at, or increasing your survivability. And you can speed up the arrival of Zords by 1 round. You can do it multiple times in the same scene. So they have a lot of ability to boost themselves once again. So a Silver Ranger is very good at fighting on its own, much like a Green Ranger. At third level, he gets Power Boost, which allows him to boost his power weapon attacks. As a free action, he can spend 2 personal power and deal an additional point of energy damage with each power weapon attack. It increases to the bonus energy damage increases to 2 at 10th level and 3 at 17th. So the Silver Ranger will be putting out a serious amount of energy on singular attacks. And really, if you have like extra attacks that you're going like 1, 2, 3, I think it applies to all of them. That's actually very powerful. Now it does cost 2 power points. It's not super clear if this lasts to the end of the scene, to the next attack, for all attacks in a round. It kind of just sounds like it lasts until you demorph or something, and that's just, I don't know, that's really good. He gets a general perk at all the regular Ranger levels. He has extra attack at level 5, allowing him to attack twice. At level 15, he can attack 3 times. At 6th level, he gets a grid power, just like every other Power Ranger does. Also, so far that's the same. At 7th level, he gets an ability called Duty of the Silver. What this allows him to do is he can spend one of his grid surges and 2 personal power to instantly teleport to the closest concentration of Power Rangers on that dimension or timeline. This guy has the ability to time travel just for 3 points. And that's not even the only thing it does. It also gives him the heavy armor proficiency automatically. And if he already has it, it becomes ultra heavy. So again, survivability. He can take care of himself and he can join up with the rest of the team very quickly. That seems really powerful. I just love, well, I love and also hate that he has the ability to just teleport to a ranger team in any space or time. Um, at 9th level, he gets power adaptation, and again at 18th level, and basically it gives you a table that allows you to choose an improvement, and each one requires personal power to activate. Um, it does not say what kind of action it takes to do this. So it doesn't say it takes free, it doesn't say it takes standard, it doesn't say it takes move. It kind of just happens, I guess. But here's what you can choose. You can take a boost of speed, which costs 1 personal power and increases movement by 20 feet for 1d6 minutes, which is huge in this game. Going 20 extra feet, especially if you have like an athletic build, you can go 60 feet and around, to say nothing of the free actions that you can burn on top of that to go 5 feet extra per free action. You can give yourself crushing strength, which is 1 personal power. You gain 2 upshifts to all athletics and brawn skill tests for 1d6 minutes, regardless of whether or not you're trained in that. Oh, I guess I should mention this now. So, if you gain upshifts in a skill you have at least 1 rank in, you're considered trained. But if you get upshifts and you're not trained in an ability normally, you still roll snag, but you get to add 2 upshifts. I might have to make a separate mechanics video to explain this difference. But if this wasn't a trained skill for you in the beginning, getting upshifts doesn't make you trained in it. You can give yourself striking hands, which costs a personal power, and you gain 1 upshift to unarmored attacks for 1d6 minutes. You can give yourself fast trigger, which costs 2 personal power. Make 1 additional ranged attack per attack action for the next 1d6 combat rounds. So more attacks, always good. At max level, if you were to have this, you could attack 4 times per round instead of 3, but it does have to be a melee, or sorry, a ranged weapon. And you can give yourself regenerating skill, which costs 2 personal power, and it restores 1 HP at the end of each of your turns for 1d6 turns. So an auto healing. I don't know what would happen if you gave yourself this ability and then fell unconscious. I would assume you would continue to heal. And of course, gaining positive hit points doesn't just automatically make you wake up. Someone has to take an action to wake you up, otherwise you're just dead to the world. All right, and then at 20th level, Silver Ranger gets Silver Ranger Prime. They get +2 to all defenses, which is standard across all Power Rangers. He deals an additional point of damage on all attacks in the first turn of a combat scene, which is actually kind of subpar compared to all the other Ranger abilities. I guess he doesn't really need the extra damage since he's attacking so many times and can boost those attacks so often, but it's not as good as some of the other ones that I've seen. And then last, enemies suffer snag when attacking your willpower defense. Now, we do have some enemies that are targeting willpower now. It wasn't something that we had a lot of in the core rulebook. So that does matter. So taking a look at this, the Silver Ranger has the ability to be very powerful. I didn't do all of the math yet to find out if he's putting out the same amount of damage that, say, a Red Ranger would, or a Yellow Ranger. I'm fairly certain that even though he has all of these damage boosting abilities, he's not coming close to the damage potential of a Pink Ranger. But he also has all of these defensive abilities and healing abilities and transformative abilities. It sounds like this could be a very powerful solo class. I don't know how likely people are to run solo adventures, but if you ever wanted to, this and the Green Ranger are really good choices for that. There's one more Power Ranger that this edition puts out, and it is the Phantom Ranger, and we will go over that next. Until then, stay tuned for more.